course. You treated me fairly during my trial. I'll never forget that.
Good, because I'm not just here by accident.
You're being accused of overturning a verdict for personal gain.
And if I lose, it could cost me my judgeship.
Forgive me for asking, but why exactly are you coming to me with this?
Because you're a hell of a lawyer. And like you said, I always treated you fairly during the trial.
Bullshit. How many other firms you go through before coming to me?
7.
That's what I thought. So you're not coming to me because I know you're fair. You picked me because anyone who takes on this case is going to have to drop at least one client, and you thought you could come down here and guilt me into doing that. No thanks.
And what if that's true?
I can't ask my firm to drop a client right now. I'm sorry.
You're sorry? You stood in my courtroom, said you'd been given a gift and you wasted it. I've served for 20 years. They're accusing me of something I didn't do. And I lose this, I lose everything I've ever worked for. So did you mean that shit you said to the jury or not?
Mike, it's not even 9 o'clock yet.
I know. I was as surprised to find you here as you were.
Well, I meant it's not even 9 o'clock, and you're already coming to me with that look on your face.
What look on my face?
The look that says you're about to ask for something that I won't want to do.
Judge Rawls came to see me.
You mean the judge that oversaw your fraud case?
She's been accused of overturning a verdict for a company that she has an interest in.
No.
Harvey, I don't think she did it.
We're trying to sign Techron. They've got a case that could end up in front of Rawls. The second we agree to represent her, we can kiss them goodbye.
Okay, look, I don't want this to be another prison case, so if you don't want to do it, we won't. But we were just on the right side with Teddy. I thought it'd be nice for us to be on the right side again.
What do you mean, us? Even if I said yes, you don't need me to fight this.
I heard about what happened with Paula. I just thought that if we did this thing together, maybe we could have some fun.
In that case, get your shit. Brief me on the way.
Guess this, they didn't go to batting cages in A Few Good Men.
No, but Tom Cruise says he can think better with his bat.
There is no way I could have guessed that.
All right, give me the Cliff Notes.
2 months ago, Polycode versus K Systems. Jury ruled in favor of Polycode. Rawls overturned the case on its merits.
Let me guess, whoever's representing Polycode found out that Rawls has a ton of money in K Systems.
Exactly. But I talked to our finance guy, and he says it's in a trust, it's blind, and he's willing to put it in writing.
Who's repping Polycode?
Smith and Devane.
Well, they're not idiots. They've got to figure that we could find proof like that.
Yeah, so the only question is, why do they think they have a shot? Wait a second, what if they don't think they have a shot?
What are you talking about?
You said you didn't want to represent Rawls because it could affect another case we might try. She gets put in review. She's going to be kicked off the bench for 6 months.
Holy shit, they want her off so she won't find against a different client in an upcoming case.
Which means if we can get her to recuse herself from whatever the case is...
She'll drop this bullshit like a hot potato. Well, look at that. I am having fun. Now I'm having even more fun because you hit like a monkey trying to have sex with a buffalo.
What kind of nature films did you watch as a kid?
I didn't watch any. I was too busy learning how to hit a baseball.
Let's make this quick. I only have a 15-minute recess.
This won't take that much time, as long as you're willing to sign this.
What is this?
So you were accusing yourself from any cases being tried by Smith and Devane for the next 3 years.
And why would I agree to that?
Because if you do, this whole thing goes away.
I don't care what happens to this thing. It's blackmail, and I'm not giving into it.
Listen to me. This avoids even the rumor of something that could destroy your reputation. That's what you came to me for.
I came to you to defend me.
We're offering you a way to get out of needing a defense.
What you're offering is a chance to do something unethical.
You don't do this, we have to argue this in front of a judicial committee, which means all bets are off.
I know what it means, and I don't care. So instead of trying to broker some backroom deal, why don't you try to figure out how to clear my name? Because I recused myself, I might as well have gotten paid to overrule that verdict in the first place.
You couldn't have known that Rawls wouldn't recuse herself, which means they won't know she didn't.
Are you talking about forging her signature?
Yeah, I am. We get Smith and Devane to sign off in writing. That's as good as them admitting that they fabricated this whole thing.
I don't know how I feel about crossing that line.
Mike, we've done a lot worse for people that deserve a lot less. You yourself said that she deserves this.
Okay. Mike Ross, this is Harvey Specter.
I'm sorry, do I have a case against you I don't know about?
We're representing Judge Sandra Rawls.
Then I guess I do.
Unless, of course, you want to withdraw your complaint against her.
And why would I do that?
Because we have a signed agreement saying she'll recuse herself from Exodine versus the state of New York.
I'm afraid that's not good enough.
Are you kidding me? She's stepping down from a huge case that you have pending with her, which we all know is what this is really about.
What this is really about, Mr. Ross, is removing a judge from the bench who's demonstrated an inability to follow the law.
Bullshit. She followed the law in your case. You just didn't like the result.
Then why don't you ask her if she followed the law in the Sullivan case 12 years ago?
What the hell are you talking about?
Your client takes matters into her own hands. She did it 12 years ago. She did it 2 months ago. God knows how many times she's done it in between. But she's never going to do it again.
That woman has more integrity in her little finger
Mike,
than you have
that's
in your
enough. You make an accusation like that, you better damn well have proof. Because if you smear this woman's reputation without cause, I will make it my life's mission to bury you.
Then instead of coming at me with empty threats, why don't you ask your client what she did?
What are you doing bursting in here unannounced?
We just came from Smith and Devane. They're throwing around some Sullivan case like it means something. And you better tell us what they're talking about right now or we're gone.
It was 12 years ago. I was a new judge, and there was a 16-year-old kid with the worst public defender I've ever seen. It was bad enough I had to rule in favor of this boy being tried as an adult. But when he was offered a plea deal and this moron wanted to take it to trial, I couldn't sit by and watch.
I don't understand. Why not just declare a mistrial?
Because having a shitty lawyer isn't grounds for that.
So instead, you had direct contact with the defendant.
Harvey, take it easy. She was just trying to help a kid.
I don't give a shit if she's trying to cure cancer. It's illegal. She didn't tell us about it. I'm not losing a client for a judge who can't even tell her own lawyers the truth.
You want to know what kind of judge I am? Anita Gibbs came to me to wiretap your phones because she knew in her gut he was a fraud and you were in on it. She had everyone from the Attorney General to the governor's office call to make me do it, and I said no, because they didn't have probable cause.
Are you saying I owe you?
I'm saying I made one mistake 12 years ago. And our system relies on having people like me up on that bench, so that when people like you get in front of us, you don't go straight to prison.
How the hell did that woman even know about what Rawls did with Sullivan?
I'm guessing you've got an answer.
Turns out that shitty public defender, Smith and Devane hired him 6 months ago. But the thing is, 6 months ago, her docket hadn't been set that far in the future.
Which means this whole thing was a setup for a case that already happened.
Think about it. She gets thrown off the bench. Every one of her rulings for the last 7 years is automatically subject to appeal.
Mike, this is great. We got him.
The only problem is, I can't figure out which case. Because Smith and Devane didn't represent anyone she ruled against.
Well, what kind of cases did she hear during that period?
Mostly federal antitrust.
Then I know who can help us. Louis, is this a bad time?
What? No. What's going on?
Smith and Devane's trying to get rid of a judge to overturn a past ruling. Mike and I are trying to figure out which case is big enough to be worth the risk.
Glazer Bank, BB's Ventures.
You didn't even look at the rest of the list.
Oh, I didn't need to. Smith and Devane represent Palmerville Industries. They've been wanting to merge with Condor for 2 years. You overturned that precedent.
Every dickhead on Wall Street would be swinging from the chandeliers.
Clear as day.
You really are a maestro with this stuff, aren't you?
Thanks, Harvey.
Night, Louis.
Let me guess. You got here early to inform the panel you're removing yourselves from the case.
No, we got here early to inform you that you are.
And once again, why would I do that?
Because you hired a shitty defense attorney for the sole purpose of getting dirt on an outstanding judge.
Hiring a shitty lawyer isn't against the law.
No, but doing it so you can set up a merger factory is.
That's a great theory. But you have no proof.
Yes, we do. Right here.
You signed all 6 of these companies within the last year.
And we've got signed affidavits from each one of them saying that you approached them with an offer to get their mergers through if they signed with you in advance.
Wasn't hard once they realized this could rise to the level of a criminal offense.
And conspiracy to alter judicial rulings is most definitely a criminal offense.
Which means if you don't drop this thing right now, you'll end up in prison.
It's up to you.
They're gonna be here in 5 minutes. How's it going?
I just stopped by to tell you that Judge Rawls called. She wanted to thank me.
That's great. Only problem with that is she called me 5 minutes ago and told me the exact same thing.